Hello, Fleur Allen here. I'm just going to take you through a visualization process I've been using for a number of years with my mentoring clients. So before we begin, I'll just spend a moment or two just giving you some instructions. First of all, just make sure you've allocated about 20 minutes to listen to this approximately 10-minute recording, and then to follow on another 10 minutes so you can write down the detail of your visualization. So make sure you're somewhere where you won't be disturbed, that you're somewhere comfortable, where you're sitting down, and just have a pen and paper handy for you to write afterwards. So there's no need to write throughout the visualization process, but it's great just to have it handy so you can just let everything that you can recall come out as easily as possible. So if this is something that's new to you, you've not done a process like this, don't worry, don't overthink it or put too much pressure on yourself, because the more and more you do a process like this, the easier it becomes. So just go with where you're at. I encourage you, when I'm taking you through the process, to try and think of colours and sounds and tastes and all those other senses, but if that's not possible for you at the moment, that's no problem whatsoever. The visualization is called My Ideal Day. So I take you through a 24-hour period, but it's not literal, it's not real. So this is like where we can just let go and think about your fantasy life, or the ideal life. If everything was just perfect, what would it look like? So it's just a snapshot of your whole life, of this ideal life, within a 24-hour period. That's why it's called My Ideal Day. And it doesn't need to make sense. You can wake up in Paris, go to sleep in London, have the day in New York, have afternoon in Australia, whatever you like. It's just a snapshot of what you would like. And it really draws out your strongest values at the moment, in this very moment. What you end up visualizing may not be what's always going to be important to you at all times. If you did this in a year's time, it might be slightly different. If you did it in 5 years' time, I would imagine it'd be quite different, depending on what you have or have not achieved. I encourage you to make sure you've got some time to yourself. Make sure you're seated, and also not to be driving a vehicle, because you need to, if you're comfortable, close your eyes, and we'll start the ideal day process. So it's morning and you're waking up, and you're just paying attention to where you are, who is around you, if there's anyone with you, where you are, whether you're in a particular type of building or you're sleeping under the stars. And just pay attention to the sounds, the smells, what you can see, and just have a look around and observe your surroundings. So you're just waking up, and you're going to journey through the next 24 hours as your ideal day. So you're just waking up and just going about your morning routine, whatever that may be. It may be a daily ritual. It may be having a shared breakfast with those you're around, whatever it is for you. So just take a moment to look and feel and sense your surroundings of your beginning of the day, of your ideal day. So moving into the morning of what you do in your ideal day. Some people choose to have their ideal type of work. Some prefer not to. Their ideal morning is not working. Again, whatever is right for you, whatever is inspiring for you. And look around and observe and take note of what it is. Also pay attention to your feelings, how you're feeling throughout this ideal day, and in particular where those feelings sit in your body, whether it be in your heart center, whether it be in your gut, wherever it may be for you. So you're moving through your morning, possibly thinking or planning what you will be doing or perhaps having for lunch if you plan on having lunch, where you'll be, who you'll be with, if it's a continuation of a work day or a different leisure activity. So just moving towards now to the middle of the day and paying attention to where you are. If you're with anybody, the sounds you can hear, if you're outdoors or indoors, observing things like the temperature. Are you near the ocean? What sounds or smells are you experiencing? Just pay attention to all the detail, and every now and then check in as to how you're feeling. So moving further into the day, beyond the middle of the day, just paying attention, observing what you're preferring to do in the afternoon of your ideal day. Pay attention to the colours that are around you in your surroundings, and check in with how you're feeling, how you feel within yourself. Are you laughing? Are you smiling? Or are you just feeling relaxed, feeling satisfied, feeling comfortable? So we're moving further into the mid-afternoon. Are you continuing on what activity you were doing, or is there a change? You may even be looking forward to what you'll be doing in the evening, whether that be work or whether that be leisure. Is there a meal time in the evening that you'll be sharing? If it is, who will you be sharing that with? What does it sound like? What does it feel like? What does it look like? What are the smells, particularly the aromas of the food? Moving into the evening, the early part of the evening, and you're actually experiencing what before you were looking forward to. Enjoying the sounds, the sights, the emotions, the aromas, and moving through to continuing the evening. Now, as we go further into the evening, we're almost coming full circle in that when you will be going to sleep. So thinking about moving towards the end of the day, end of the evening, and just taking a moment as you're preparing for sleep in your ideal day. Pay attention to where you're going to sleep, if you're sharing that with anybody, and take a moment before you fall back to sleep to think of the top 3 highlights of the day, of your ideal day. Remembering it doesn't have to be practical, doesn't have to make sense. All of this is just your absolute ideal day. If everything was just as you wished, what would the top 3 highlights be that you would be considering and being grateful for as you go back to sleep? So thinking those top 3 thoughts as you lay back down on the pillow and go back to sleep, as we come full circle for the ideal day. When you're ready, just wiggle your toes, wiggle your fingers, particularly if you had your eyes closed. And just bring yourself down to the present moment, back into the room of where you are now. When you're ready, then write down those top 3 highlights that you thought about at the end of the ideal day. Have them as a starting point, but if you can recall more of the visualization of your ideal day, then write as much detail as possible. So do this immediately and just allow it to flow out of you. If you can remember a lot of details, such as the colours, the sounds, the smells, then write everything down. Write everything you possibly can remember. If you can't remember it all, that's totally fine. There's no judgment there. It's just wherever you are at with your visualization. So enjoy the experience, and I look forward to hearing about what you're comfortable sharing. Thank you.